Well, you'll be happy, sad to know that the very first report from a major mainstream media resource, if CNN can still be considered that, since they've dropped down to becoming not a very popular resource, but they are I think we would still consider them to be mainstream media. They finally got a report out this morning on the Cybertruck. So let's take a look at it because, well, what would you expect? Anyway, there was a time, it says, when an electric Tesla pickup, something designed to go head to head against America's most popular products, the Ford F-150 and the Chevrolet Silverado, seemed just the thing to take Tesla completely mainstream. Well, wait a minute. Tesla has the number one selling car in the world. The number two, the Model 3 is way up there in terms of total numbers of sales. And what isn't mainstream if you have topped every single car in the entire world in terms of your sales of one of the, anyway, I don't know. Anyway, then in 2019, Elon Musk unveiled the Tesla Cybertruck, a bare metal box on wheels. A bare metal box on wheels. It's the furthest thing from mainstream. The truck has attracted ardent fans and even more ardent critics. He doesn't name any of those critics. I don't know who those critics are. Have you seen any significant critics out there? Anyway, but it has good towing and hauling capabilities. Good. It doesn't make any comparisons. Even those, it sacrifices usability to its literally edgy design. For some customers, the sacrifice is undoubtedly worth it. But it may be more of a question about whether Ford and GM really need to worry. No, they shouldn't worry. Their cars aren't selling it. Oh, their cars aren't selling at all? Oh, yeah. It is a contest for, if it's a contest for eyeballs, they do need to worry. Even when I parked a rented Tesla Cybertruck next to a hot pink McLaren supercar in a shopping center parking lot in California, the people in the McLaren couldn't stop talking about the Cybertruck. Everywhere I went, the huge, shiny silver truck was a crowd magnet, drawing young people who'd been waiting to see one in real life and others, usually older, who had no idea what the thing even was. The Cybertruck design was largely dictated by the choice of material, hard, cold, rolled stainless steel. Peter Vladis, anyway, the Tesla Cybertruck looks like nothing else on the road. And its size, not quite as large as an F-150, but somehow looks even bigger, is even more eye-catching. Of course, once the Cybertruck has been on the market for a while, its draw will subside. It will. Well, I guess. Maybe. How long? Anyway, there's a lot to like about the Cybertruck. Well, there you go. But it's also a oh yeah, there's that. But it also embodies a disturbing level of individual arrogance in hard, unforgiving steel. Concerns for the safety of others on the road and even the practical needs of its own users appear to have been placed second to the design. An engineering directive spearheaded by Tesla chief executive Elon Musk. As Walter Isaacson's recent biography on Musk makes clear, it was Musk's fixation on the structure, created from the same steel SpaceX uses for rockets, that resulted in the rectilinear mass of naked metal that I was driving through the Southern California hills. So Elon Musk's just decided he wanted to make it out of stainless steel. That sounds about exactly what everybody understands about how Elon came to the conclusion. I think the conclusion was something like the future should look like the future, and that's what one of his sons said, and then everybody got on board with that, and then it has 2 million plus pre-orders, and everybody can't wait to get their Tesla Cybertruck, and he doesn't mention any of that. Anyway, a sports truck. It was the most enjoyable electric truck I've driven yet. Well, there you go. I've driven nearly all the other electric trucks currently on the market, such as Ford and Rivians, and I don't expect any will surpass the Cybertruck in its sports car-like performance. Ordinarily, not a priority to pick up, it's got powerful acceleration and steering that feels quick, responsive, and nimble. With its punchy acceleration, quick steering, and custom-designed Goodyear truck tires, it reminded me a bit of driving a Lamborghini Hurricane Storado, a high-performance sports car fitted with off-road tires and raised suspension. But the Cybertruck is, of course, bigger and more than twice as heavy. Well, now, maybe that should have been the lead paragraph? Even a mildly firm press on the accelerator left everyone else quickly behind. With its drive-by-wire steering system, that's all he says about the drive-by-wire. A slight turn with a small rectangular steering wheel yielded tight turns at lower speeds, but at higher speeds, it wasn't hard to keep the truck in its lane. It wasn't hard to keep the truck in its lane. Is that even a thing? Has anybody ever had a car that was hard to keep its truck in its lane? Four-wheel steering allows it to turn around in a smaller area than one might expect. Boy, this guy actually is a writer. Anyway, the Cybertruck is an awkwardly shaped bed that hampers its use. It's a square rectangular bed. There's also a storage bin under the bed floor, though. Tesla did not provide CNN with a Cybertruck to test. You're sad about this now? This is an important part of the story. Instead, we rented one for over $1,000 a day through Turo, the peer-to-peer vehicle renting service. Turo doesn't set the rates, which vehicle owners do, and Cybertruck rates have come down somewhat since then. My Turo host walked me through the what does that even? My Turo host walked me through the Cybertruck's various weird, by non-Tesla standards, controls. The turn signals are controlled using steering wheel buttons rather than a stalk. Again, this is similar to a Lamborghini or a Ferrari. To put the truck in drive or reverse, I swiped up or down on the truck icon on the center screen. In case the screen ever goes black, there is a row of gear selector buttons on the ceiling just above the windshield. And I had to dig a bit into the touchscreen to find the control for the Cybertruck's one gigantic windshield wiper. Yeah, once I drove in the truck, an hour or so, though, everything seemed logical. Well, that's nice of them to say, but nothing about over-the-air update, nothing about all the incredible things that you get on the system that nobody else does. Anyway, all right. What's with the rearview mirror? It does have a windshield-mounted rearview mirror, but troublingly, it's entirely useless most of the time. With the bed cover closed, there's nothing to see out the back window. Many modern SUVs have a rearview mirror that doubles as a video screen, showing a view from a camera mounted in the back. Tesla could have used a similar system, but no! In the Cybertruck, the rearview mirror is displayed in a small rectangle in the truck's center screen. It's there all the time while you drive. Now, that seemed like a minor detail, but it says a lot about how Tesla thinks about vehicle controls. The only reason to have the rearview video display inside the rearview mirror is because that's where drivers are used to looking. Similarly, the only reason to have a turn signal stalk is that that's what people are used to, for better or worse. Tesla doesn't care what you're used to. Oh boy, I can't. Yeah, you mean, you have to get used to looking at the screen instead of looking at the mirror. That's the big deal. Well, it is a big deal. I have a hard time getting used to looking at the screen before I make left turns rather than looking at my left rearview mirror. It is, you have to get used to it. But is it better? Actually gives a better view on the screen, much better view on the rearview mirror, because you can give more of a wider view than you're ever going to get on a regular rearview mirror. Anyway, there are indications that this attitude contributes to higher crash rates. What? Why? But if Tesla were inventing a vehicle from scratch, the strange choices would be totally sensible. But there are indications that this attitude contributes to higher crash rates. That's all he's going to say. Oh my goodness. The Tesla Cybertruck's simple interior is nice enough, but with hardly any switches or knobs. This is an easy part. Then there's the Cybertruck's crazy shape. Other companies have been making pickup trucks for well more than a century, and there are reasons they're not usually shaped like wedges. In this case, the Cybertruck is hindered by an apparent needless desire to be different. Really? How's it hindered? Oh, not ideal for cargo. In the Cybertruck, if you load up the cargo bed, then decide you want to reach something at the front of the bed, something close to the back window, you'll need to start unpacking. There's no reaching over the side of the bed to get to it. The sidewall is just too high. Oh, you mean you can't get up onto the bed and go past the stuff and grab it, or possibly get a little step stool and get over there if you need to, or possibly just get something to stand on, or maybe you just have to hoist yourself over to get to it, or anyway, nothing about the tonneau cover, nothing about how wonderful that is that you have a locking tonneau. Anyway, the front trunk is also a fairly useless afterthought compared to the one of the Ford F-150 Lightning. Ford's just bigger. and it has loads of power outlets, making it a generally functional workspace. The Cybertruck is handy as maybe as a place to sit. For now, at least, the Cybertruck isn't the same price range as the Lightning either. The Foundation Series truck I drove cost over $100,000. It will be next year before Tesla has said it will start producing trucks costing around $60,000. No, that is, I don't know, did he write this last year? It will be this year that they'll be making trucks costing $60,000. Most concerning, though, is the maintenance, manufacturing quality. The interior is fairly nice, if Spartan, but that's the easy part, especially since Tesla does away. Didn't we just read that? The hard part is making a body from stainless steel, especially with mostly straight edges that don't hide misalignments. In most cars and trucks, body panel alignments are a purely cosmetic concern. It doesn't look good when there are big, uneven gaps between different sections of the body. But most vehicles aren't made from thick, hard-edged stainless steel. At the front corners of our Cybertruck, there were gaps big enough to see daylight through, and hard edges stuck out from the body. The Cybertruck's trunk has limited utility compared to those of most trucks from other companies. On the edge, I worried that this truck hit a pedestrian, or if someone slipped while climbing over the bedside, that the unyielding metal would cause real harm, if not actual knife-edged, of course. But hitting soft flesh with enough force, it seemed like it would go through skin. I emailed Tesla to ask the automaker had any concerns about this, but no response. Tesla has not responded to CNN inquiries in years. Well, we know this. By the way, I'm so sad that he has all these concerns. He didn't prove it or show in any way, shape, or form that this has happened. This is not a truck that customers will buy in big numbers. This is not a truck. Let me read this again. This is not a truck that customers will buy in big numbers, and not just because Tesla isn't making them in big numbers yet. It's fun and it's interesting, but those who just want to get the job done, there's not much reason to buy this instead of something more normal and functional. It doesn't seem like it will do anything, or at least anything that matters, much better than a Ford F-150 Lightning or a Chevrolet Silverado EV, and it'll definitely be worse in some important ways. List those? What important ways is it not as good? For work, it carries more. It has all the power outlets. It has maybe better systems for holding things down. Anyway, if you want to draw a crowd, though, this is your ride, at least while the novelty lasts. Well, this is Randy Kirk. Maybe you'll let me know what you think about that report from CNN. I'm glad to see that they at least have reported on it. It's really nice. Nobody else has. No other mainstream media has reported yet, but hey, CNN, good job. And by the way, there was some nice things said there. I think it was one of the worst reports or analyses that I've seen so far in terms of looking at the things that were really important, like 48 volts. And I mean, I don't know, why would he mention those kind of things? Anyway, please hit like and subscribe and notify. Of course, later on today, I'll have Brian White. No, not Brian White today. Cern Basher is coming back. Cern Basher has a completely new report. I think you're going to like this. I'm not going to even tell you anything about it. It'll be a big surprise because people have asked this question over and over again, but nobody's done it, and he's finally done it. We'll be doing that around 11:12. And then Larry Goldberg, of course, will be on, as he always is, on Friday to help us talk about all the good news that happens between now and the end of, and when Larry comes on. Anyway, the news this morning and last night on X, and basically it should be everywhere, has been dominated, and there has been reporting on this, it's been dominated by the unveiling of Google's newest product, Gemini. This is an AI-based system like ChatGPT or DALL-E, but it has resulted in an entirely new round of questions about the intentions of Google to sway public opinion towards woke, anti-racist, colonialism-based ideas. Now, this is from Forbes this morning. It is pretty much a guarantee. This is a quote from Elon Musk. It is pretty much a guarantee that any company that says "Don't be evil" as their slogan will be evil, Musk said on X in response to a post highlighting race education programs at Google. For years, Google included the phrase "Don't be evil" in its corporate code of conduct. It was held up as a famous company motto, but recast as "Do the right thing" as part of its restructuring under Alphabet, until it was quietly completely dropped in 2018. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI initiatives have been a focal point of Musk's discontent in recent months, most recently at Disney, where he has criticized CEO Bob Iger and claimed the company's policies are enforced by Disney's DEI Gestapo. Clearly they are. Musk, alongside several billionaires and business leaders like Bill Ackman, claimed DEI initiatives discriminate against white men and harm businesses. The billionaire, part owner of the NBA Dallas Mavericks, Mark Cuban, disagrees with the position. There's no universally accepted evidence that initiatives harm companies. Well, this nut is a big part. This is Musk again. This nut is a big part of why Google's AI is so racist and sexist, wrote Musk on X after old posts from Google product director Jack Krasky, anyway, I can't, Krawczyk, Krawczyk, were unearthed online. He was involved with the Gemini image generator project. He was involved in the Gemini image generator project, the thing that we're talking about. And his old posts, which acknowledge white privilege and racism in America, are a sign of where the Gemini project went directionally wrong, Musk claimed. Actual Silicon Valley is crazier than the show, Musk said in response to comments comparing the people running Google image generation to those running firms in HBO's popular comedy show, Silicon Valley. In fact, this product would not produce any pictures that included white faces. This is now me talking. If you asked it to show you pictures of U.S. founding fathers, popes, Vikings, the pictures were odd depictions of people of color, but not a single white face. Well, it turns out that there is a DEI department at Google that has clearly proclaimed that the anti-racist theories will dominate Google's algo. There are videos, I've seen the videos of the head of this department who's in charge of making sure that Google is doing the ethical, the right thing, that they are proactively making sure that their theories of what is right get published. Google has since discontinued the system's ability to create pictures. This is actually true. Yesterday, after these things started to surface, Google actually said, we are discontinuing the entire service until we can fix these issues. Elon said that a top executive at Google called him last night and spoke with him for over an hour, promising that the problem will be fixed. Others this morning are asking whether the regular Google search, they're asking questions that are designed to see if they can get straight answers on subjects related to politics. And most of the examples that I've seen so far that are surveyed, they're deeply disturbing. And we know where this went last time. We know what happened in the 2020 race and even the 2016 race, where Google was deplatforming conservatives based on their conservative opinions. It's not a secret. This has happened, and it's a real big concern that these companies have massive capability to sway public opinion by virtue of how they respond to what everybody does, which is use Google for search. So you've got that kind of power. Do we need to have any kind of ways of managing this power? I'm all for free speech, and if Google is going to call themselves, the arbiter, the decision maker with regard to free speech, without any kind of controls at all, without anybody overseeing it, then hopefully we'll have alternatives where we can go, where we can actually get a true representation of both sides of the issue, not just one side. Well, there are no government reports out this morning on any government or other people, any of the other reporting agencies reporting anything with regard to the economy this morning. And but yesterday, I think 5 different Fed presidents came out continuing with the theme. Higher for longer. We're just not convinced. We think there's a problem that inflation could come back. We've seen it before. There's no reason we really need to cut right now. It's not that critical that we cut now, so it's better to wait. So right now, everybody kind of thinks it's going to be June before we get a cut in the rates, and Trueflation still sitting at 1.71 this morning, even after all of their changes that raised the rates. They're still at 1 point. I mean, they would right now probably be at about 1.1. Anyway, next week we'll have the PCE coming out, and that'll be interesting indeed. Well, let's check out where the markets are at this time. We have got Tesla doing what it did yesterday. So very interesting. Same like yesterday. The Dow is up 199. The Nasdaq's up 30. The S&P is up 19. And Tesla is down $2.56. So not dramatically down, but down. And at least one person I saw said that this could be options, a lot of options activity that's causing these morning differences. And we've seen it go both ways recently, where Tesla's been going up when the entire market's been going down. Anyway, $2.44 down this morning. We've got the Magnificent Seven mixed, but not heavily mixed. So we've got Meta up big time, Microsoft up 0.5%, NVIDIA up 3 more percent. You've got Amazon down a tad, Google at even, Apple down a tad, but Tesla now down 317. So it's very, very interesting. We got most of the Kathy Woods are down this morning, but small numbers, little tiny, 30 cents or 40 cents, not a lot. Okay, let's look at these in percentages because some of you like that. We've got the Dow up 40.47, NASDAQ up 0.12, S&P up 0.35, and Tesla down 1.65, or at this point down $3.26. Okay, let's look at the bonds. They were down, the 30-year was down earlier. Let's see if we're still in that situation. We have got the down 3. Okay, that would tend to, if the 10-year rather is down 3.2 basis points, you've got the 2-year only down almost 1 basis point. So again, the inversion widening more. You've got the 2-month down also, but again, 0.3. So that inversion is also widening. This would basically help Kathy Wood stocks and Tesla, but it's not this morning. Let's go to oil. We've got oil sitting at down $1.88. So coming back down into the middle part of the range at 76.71. Brent about the same. Natural gas down another 7%. So we're heading back down, and we're at $1.60 now. Remember, the bottom was around 152, somewhere in that range, but it's down again 7% this morning. We've got the dollar on track for its first weekly fall in 2024, basically even this morning, though. We've got gold up $3.80 at 2034, right in the middle of where it's been for quite some time now. Copper down 1.12%. You've got crypto down 817 at 51. So it has definitely been trending down recently. Yeah, so that pretty much tells you where everything is this morning. We'll go back as we always do and see if Tesla has continued to trend down, still sitting $3.12 down. All right, so again, later this morning, please come back and see what Cern Basher has for you. I think you're going to really like it. And then Larry Goldberg later tonight. Yesterday, I did another video with Brian White. And what we did there is we looked at some of the market movers, some of the things that Tesla could do over the next weeks or months that could really get Tesla moving again, moving back towards my famous 300. But I don't have the 300 price point anymore. Quite frankly, from what I'm seeing now, if Tesla does start to break out, it probably runs quite a bit past 300 when the street starts to figure out what's really going to happen in 2025 and 2026. That's what we need, either a breakthrough on robotaxi or on full self-driving, something that's really a significant breakthrough. We need some kind of indication that 4680 has been solved. There's a bunch of things. So anyway, take a look. Brian and I went down a list of 10 things that are possibly going to affect the markets, could get Tesla moving sooner. Right now, I'm guessing it could be a while before we begin to see Tesla strongly making that move back up towards all-time highs. All right, I'm putting the card right here for that Brian White story. And other than that, it's been great talking to you this morning.